Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. When it comes to the adoption of XRP, we're much closer to the beginning than we are to the end. In fact, if you're jumping into XRP and really, fair enough to say even crypto just now, you're early to the party. I think it's fair to say. In fact, you're so early to the party that it's rude. Why are you showing up so early? The host has not finished preparations, and here you are before the allotted time. You're supposed to be here. But see, to me, this represents tremendous opportunity, and there actually could be a future where people aren't investing in cryptocurrency with the intent to sell. And I've talked about this with XRP, just not in a long time. But take a look at this headline. It got me thinking about it again from the Daily Hodl. You will never have to sell your Bitcoin, according to Tyler Winklevoss. Here's why. And interestingly enough, he even talks about something that I had pondered but never publicly spoken about, which is the idea of cryptocurrencies being used on other planets, like Mars, for example, which presumably humans will get to it at some point. Obviously, that unmanned flights there, right, if you will, but actual humans going to Mars, it seems like an inevitability, I would think. But what about the idea of utilizing cryptocurrencies on a heavily colonized Mars? But look, before I go any further, I do want to be clear, I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who makes YouTube videos as a fun hobby about Ripple and XRP and crypto and apparently interplanetary travel from time to time. I want to share this tweet with you. I put out this tweet on February 2nd of 2018. I had been in crypto just, like 2.5 months at this point? Something like that. I wrote the following. And this is before I had my YouTube channel, by the way. I was brand new to crypto, but I was just kind of thinking out loud here, and I wrote the following. What if, by the time XRP is worth a fortune, you don't need to sell and convert it into fiat? What if in the future XRP price stabilizes and the infrastructure of global payments has progressed so dramatically that you can use XRP to purchase literally anything you need in life? Which is an interesting idea, because when you're talking about XRP specifically used as a bridge currency, that's because there's a lot of friction in the world today. But in a world where cryptocurrencies are heavily adopted, I think a lot of people would opt to not have any middleman whatsoever. They'll just convert convert value from one fiat currency to another, whatever form of value they want, manually, which you certainly can already do today. I just think it's the case that in 2021 there isn't sufficient adoption of cryptocurrency for a number of reasons. It's daunting, and so it makes sense to have XRP working functionally in the background. But once it's sufficiently adopted, it's so technologically advanced compared to pretty much all the competition. I wouldn't be surprised in the least if people more broadly do begin using it actually as money, because the volatility is going to dissipate. And it's going to be a lot less interesting at that point to be investing in cryptocurrencies. But that's why, having a contrarian view of crypto in general right now can just pay out so asymmetrically relative to other asset classes. It's the best investing opportunity that there has ever been in the history of mankind. I firmly believe that. And so I wanted to run through this article because any cryptocurrency that's going to have long-term viability, I think it's going to be true of this. So even if it's being used for other use cases, at some point, it's not going to make sense to sell it into something else. Like think about it. If you're selling your XRP in the future, you're purchasing United States dollars or whatever fiat currency. Is that what you're going to want to do? Because with XRP, it's finite. And so if it gets used for all sorts of other stuff and it's more widely adopted in terms of actually being used in place of money, which could happen, the incentive goes away. Now, by the time we get there, though, you're not going to see this crazy increase in price relative to other asset classes. It's just that there's barely any money in here right now, and as a crypto asset class as a whole, even when the market cap for the asset class is like $2.5 trillion, it might as well be nothing, right? It's not that much money, but anyway. So Gemini CEO and Bitcoin billionaire Tyler Winklevoss is telling investors that there will come a time when Bitcoin holders will not have to sell their Bitcoin holdings ever. At the ongoing Bitcoin 2021 conference in Miami, the co-founder of the crypto exchange says that Bitcoin is still in the early days despite its recent run above $60,000. Yeah, and which is exactly why I started the video by saying you're early to the party, my friends. Specifically with XRP, it's been traded for about 8.5 years, but we're much closer to the beginning than we are to the end. And so, like, even if you feel like you're late to the party right now, it's all relative. I mean, I felt like I was late to the party when I jumped in 2017, and now at this point, I've been around for like over 25% of the time that cryptocurrencies have existed. So when you look at it like that, it's like, okay, actually pretty gosh darn early to the party. And that's why I'm saying any cryptocurrency that's really going to truly have staying power, if you fast forward a decade, what's it going to be worth? If it's truly going to have that type of long-term viability, one would think it would be worth substantially more than it is today, even though I personally believe there are going to be tremendous pullbacks along the way, including at least probably one or two pullbacks of over 80 to 90+%. I still believe that stuff's going to happen because there's not that much liquidity, and humans are still behaving pretty much the same as they did last market cycle. But here's a quote from Winklevoss. "We think Bitcoin is gold 2.0. It will disrupt gold, so its market cap has to be $10 trillion or more because that's the market cap of gold. Bitcoin's hovering around $1 trillion right now. We still think it's at least conservatively, a 10x from here." Yeah, and so I'll pause. That could be true, and I would like that to be true. I am pro Bitcoin. I'm just more excited about XRP, frankly. But if you're talking about just a 10x for Bitcoin, what do you think that means for XRP? Because look, XRP's market cap here, let's see what it is right now. So Bitcoin's 678 billion right now, down because it's down to $36,000 as I record this, and XRP's market cap is only 44 billion. That's it. So, I think that the cryptocurrencies that are going to have true long-term staying power, they're going to be multi-trillion-dollar assets, right? Wouldn't you think that? For the handful of cryptocurrencies that have staying power for decades or perhaps longer, I would think so. And then he also stated the following: "Even at $35,000, it feels like a really good buying opportunity long-term because we think at a $10 trillion market cap, we think one Bitcoin will be worth $500,000, and we think that could happen inside this decade, definitely the next 5 years." Now, Winklevoss highlights that once Bitcoin hits his price target, investors can leverage their Bitcoin for whatever purpose, eliminating the need to sell it. Here's another quote. "We're hodlers at least until $500,000, and then at that point, you won't even have to sell because you can borrow off or whatever." Yeah, and so I think this will be true of XRP as well. It's not going to look attractive to sell way in the future. I wouldn't think anyway. But the crypto billionaire goes so far as to say that he sees the possibility of Bitcoin becoming an interplanetary currency, which might sound wacky, but it is fun to think about this. And it's something that I had pondered, I just never talked about before, but it's an interesting concept. But here's what he said. "Our gold 2.0 thesis is that Bitcoin disrupts gold, and we think that's the conservative bull case. It's an open source project that continues to evolve and can do so much more. It can become the global reserve digital currency of the world, of the galaxy, like when we get to Mars." And so on that, I'm sitting here thinking, technologically, how does that work? Because if you're placing a phone call to somebody literally on the other side of the planet, there's lag time right there. In fact, if you're talking about Mars specifically, depending on the position of Mars relative to Earth, it takes anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes to get a message to Mars. And so if you're talking about settlement time with XRP, which occurs in 3 to 5 seconds, how does that even work? You just clog up and hold up the whole system? I was like, no, we got some Mars transactions here. We got to hold on. Like, how do you sync that up? I hope there's an answer. I don't know if there is, though. Like, you're going to have the slowest blockchain on the planet, in which case maybe Bitcoin's perfectly suited for it. Zing! I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's just a fun concept, but yeah, I could see something like that ultimately happening. I just don't know what it looks like. I was wondering also, like, even if cryptocurrency heavily takes hold, and if we magically somehow in the future, way in the future, don't use fiat currency anymore, which I'm not convinced will ever happen, but even if... would there be a separate Mars currency, given that there's a lag time? You do some sort of decentralized cryptocurrency just over there? I don't know, because if you can't overcome that lag time situation, I don't even know what the hell that looks like. But it's a fun thought exercise, though. Actually, if you guys have any thoughts on that, please share with me below. I haven't thought about it terribly in depth, but it is something that I find a bit curious here. But other than that, welcome to the party. You're here early, and even though I've stated publicly, and I do mean this, I'm going to sell the vast majority, if not all of my XRP this market cycle. That's my goal anyway, assuming it gets to the levels that I would find enticing enough to make me do so. I could look back in a decade or two and be like, Damn, wish I had held it. But I'm not going to play that game because, not really with myself, but because it's a coulda, woulda, shoulda thing, and that's for children. Because you don't know, and when you're talking about having a substantial portion of your net worth in one asset, and you don't know for sure what it's going to look like, it makes all the sense in the world to diversify, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, you can look back and play that game, and I don't know, I'll think about it, but I'm not going to actually have regret. There's no way. Because I do think that XRP will be worth substantially more, but it doesn't mean I'm willing to take on the risk in case I'm wrong. Because I could be wrong. Like I don't know for sure. I don't know where the price of XRP is going to go. I'm optimistic for the future, but I don't know for sure. So we shall all learn together here, but it's fun to think about here. So maybe we'll never actually need to sell our XRP, right? because even if I do sell most or all of my XRP, I do intend to buy back into XRP and other cryptocurrencies during the bear market. So it doesn't mean it's the last time that I'd hold it anyway. It's just, for me, it really is more so about adjusting my risk exposure. That really is what about realizing some profits in other assets, basically. But I will go ahead and wrap up there. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.